And we are back with another starter pack video, but specifically this is race specific. So we're going to be talking about the Asian streetwear fashion trend starter packs in 2020. Probably have a say in this because of what you see here. It's your boy Keezy. It ain't easy being Keezy. Let's talk about it. I guarantee you that this first one I'm going to talk about, you've seen it before. You might not shop on this specific website, but it's going to be the Taobao, AliExpress, Alibaba streetwear starter pack looking something like this right here. If you've been on any of these websites, you're bound to run into it. Type in streetwear, oh my god, your recommendations will be flooded with this. So let's go ahead and break down this fit right here. I made this meme and I tried to generalize it as best as I can. You will almost always catch these, I guess, models. I don't know if these people actually wear this stuff, but I think it's what they put on to shoot the shot to sell the product on the website. So they're always kind of either wearing a bucket hat or some kind of dad hat. You'll always see them wearing a really oversized t-shirt that looks like some kind of replicated aesthetic of like Heron Preston or Off-White or maybe Fear of God in there or Rude. It kind of just has that same feel of the type of graphics that they have. The branding of what they wear is just a whole bunch of like no-name brands that we don't know here in the US. Maybe they're popular overseas in mainland China or Korea or maybe not necessarily Japan, but you get the point. Okay, it's just kind of like these off brands that kind of look like Off-White. I'm not even trying to make a pun there. And I don't know why, but the models are always wearing joggers. So they're always wearing joggers, and it's like these joggers, again, you've just never seen them. They kind of look like brands that never even made it to PacSun, because even PacSun was like, this is too much, man. We can't sell this. People aren't gonna buy this in the States. Like that's what it kind of feels like. But they always got an extreme amount of tactical pockets all over the pants and straps and all different types of stuff that you've just never seen it before. And when it comes to the sneakers, I think the sneakers and what's on the feet is usually the only thing that could be recognizable as a brand. It's always either going to be some Off-White Nike collaboration from the 10, the ones that you're seeing here. He's got the Chicagos on, or he could have like the Air Force Ones or whatever, the Blazers. And if it's not the Nike Off-Whites, they got on the Balenciaga Triple S's or the Tracks or something like that. And if they go the extra mile and they're not wearing a brand that you don't recognize, it is a shoe that emulates the Nike Off-Whites and the Balenciaga Triple S. It's always like some big dad shoe. Now, if I were to just kind of give my reaction to like the whole look in general, is that these looks really scream 2016, 2017 to me. It just, the jogger thing that's going on, the oversized t-shirt like that's going on, the bucket hat, and just all like the tactical straps and stuff. It's like mixing so many different things, and it really just falls into this category of like, for the US anyway, I don't know about China, but for the US, it really feels like this is just an extreme amount of popcorn streetwear. Instant noodle streetwear is just, you bubbled it up and you're like, hey man, you got a model and you're like, hey man, put this on, this is what's hot, we're trying to sell this, and then this is the fit that we're going with, because we're just trying to get rid of these t-shirts that we made. And my final thoughts on this Taobao, AliExpress, Alibaba look that is flooding those websites is that I personally know that this is not a direct reflection of fashion in China, like, or streetwear in China. It's not, and if you wait to the end of this video, I'm gonna explain to you why it's not. But I think maybe some of these posts are old and they've just been up for a long time. They're just trying to get rid of the product, and they're not gonna remodel the product to show it to you. And maybe this is the best way that they can present it to you. I don't really know exactly, but with that said, let's move on to number 2. Alright, so for number 2, I have to admit, this is not streetwear. Alright, number 2 is not streetwear, but this one is going to be the Rich Asian Girl Starter Pack. Yeah, it has to do with fashion, but not specifically streetwear. They do wear sneakers, but we'll get into it. Alright, now it looks like this. Pretty mundane, pretty plain outfit if you ask me. I personally don't even know what brands these are from like the tops and the pants, but when it comes to the sneakers, the Balenciaga Speed Trainers, the Givenchy shoe with the little, you know what I'm talking about, with the little strap on it, you know what I'm talking about. And how can we forget the Gucci sneakers with the green and red little you feel me on the side, and wait, hold on, you can't just have the green and red stripe thing going. You gotta have the little bug they put on there. I don't know what those are called from Gucci, but apparently they made sneakers with like little butterflies and like insects on them and stuff. They love those shoes, man. That it has to be, I don't know how that came into agreement. It feels as if they all came to a conference. Like all of these rich Asian girls came to a conference and they all were like, we are going to wear these shoes. Like that's how rampant it is, okay? And they wear them as like beaters. Damn near every fit pic they got one of these on. I'm just saying. And when we talk about this look overall, it's not necessarily about wearing like the crazy brand names and whatever. Not necessarily, because there's a different category for that. But where these rich Asian girls love to flex the most is with the purses. And specifically, these purses. You got the Louis Vuittons, you got the YSLs, and the Chanel bags. And they all got the same ones too. And the biggest signifier to tell whether or not you're looking at the starter pack that I'm talking about is that if they have their Instagram flooded with photos of them posing in front of, I guess, really tall buildings in Asia, whether it's Singapore, Hong Kong, Beijing, freaking Japan or something like that. Whatever country it is, they always love to stand and pose in front of these really big, like, I guess, monumental things around the globe, okay, with the fit that I've just shown you. But where I suspect that a majority of these rich Asian girls are not necessarily rich is because they take pictures like these. You know what I'm talking about. They'll be sitting at dinner, lunch, or a snack in some country like Singapore, China, or maybe even Los Angeles or New York or wherever they traveled in the US, and they will take a picture of their food, but they won't take a picture of who they're with. Come on, man, we all know, man. We all know someone paid for the trip. This is all I'm saying, man. Someone done paid for that trip, and maybe even paid for the bags, and maybe them Gucci things you got on your feet, baby girl. I know. And if I were to give a reaction to like the whole thing, is that, look, I am not even mad at it. I'm not. It is what it is. And look, get your money, get your paper, get your guac, get your cheddar, get your yaper, get all of that. You feel me? And stack that cheese. It doesn't matter how you get the Balenci's on your feet as long as you get the Balenci's on your feet. So number 3, I don't know how to properly title it right now, so I'm gonna give you some title here later on as you watch this. But what I'm kind of putting together in my head is that this is like the Japanese raw denim starter pack. It's like the Asian raw denim purist starter pack, okay? Kind of rugged, kind of Americana, got that Japanese feel to it. And if I were to just shed light on this, because I love this category, I really do, and we're gonna talk about that in a minute here, but if you were to spot these people, they dress just like this. Jeans on jeans. Jeans on jeans. And sometimes they match, sometimes they don't match, but what's more important about the jean jacket and the jeans themselves, the jean pants, is that they're extremely faded. Because this is, they're like denim enthusiasts. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you just ever happen to go on selfedge.com, this is the embodiment of what consumers at selfedge.com would look like. The exaggerated form. Typically, if not 95% of the time, they're gonna have boots on. Specifically these boots. Now, I'm not a person that wears boots. I can't differentiate, you know, one boot brand from another because I just haven't bought into it. I would love to, I just haven't found one for myself. So I don't know what brand these are. If I were to guess, there's quite a few brands out there that make boots like these. And if it's not this color, then it's probably a black color. It's consistently always beat up. It's as if they've owned these shoes for like 20 or 30 years and they just never changed out of them. In fact, the whole outfit looks like it was from 30 years ago. But the biggest difference between what's happening now in streetwear, where you got a lot of people buying vintage, I don't think that these people buy vintage. I think that they actually wear their clothing and they've just been wearing it for years and years and years, and it turns out that they have really nice creases in their jacket and in their denim. It basically just fades really nicely, perfectly matching to their body, and that's what it is. And if I were to just reflect on this a little bit, I think that Nigo, the designer, his inner spirit, like his own inner thoughts, this is how he sees himself. And actually, oftentimes you can catch Nigo wearing this. A lot of human-made looks like this, except with more graphics and what have you. I think the category I'm talking about, this starter kit specifically, they don't really wear logos. It's really plain clothing. It's just denim on denim jackets. They're just logoless clothing. Human Made has that same element, except he'll add the hearts and it'll say Human Made. He'll put a duck on it or something like that. So by ending with this category, I'm gonna leave you with this. These looks are, to me, the core basics of what people are wearing today. I think now people are taking these looks of like the Japanese Americana, raw denim, rugged, used clothing. They're buying probably what they sold to a vintage store. People are rebuying that and now flipping it and giving it a 2020 feel. They'll wear more of a hype sneaker with it or whatever. And you know, people are, again, they're kind of mixing this look into what it is today. And I don't think that these people get enough credit. They just don't. And I hope it comes back. I really do. So I'm gonna leave you with that. Let's keep going. So looking at my phone here, the next one is actually pretty funny, and I've talked about this on my channel before, but not in this form. And it's going to be the Asian Consignment Shop owner. It's not necessarily a trend. It does fall within streetwear because they own a consignment sneaker store. It does sell streetwear inside of it. But I don't know if anyone has been to the Bay. I can't speak for everywhere else, right? I can't speak for the Midwest. I can't necessarily speak for the East Coast. Maybe it's the same in the East Coast, but here in the West Coast, my God, especially within the Bay, man, every consignment shop owner is Asian. And this is also a combination of consignment shop owner and SneakerCon booth owner, the guy behind the booth at SneakerCon. They're like the same people, right? They're all Asian. And even my non-Asian friends, if I go to a SneakerCon, the conversation at the end is always like, how come there's always Asian people behind the counters? Let me give you some simple math here, all right? Asians like money. Specifically, Chinese people love money. They just do, okay? They love money and they love to make money. And what has been really popular over the years? Sneakers. And what has came with sneakers? Money. You can sell sneakers for a lot of money. So of course you're gonna get a lot of Chinese people into wanting to sell sneakers and maybe not even owning them. They probably don't even care. Some of them don't, right? But besides the fact, if we were to talk about fit, because this is what it's about, starter packs and whatever, I think a lot of them, if they've been in the game for a long time with selling shoes, owning a consignment, I feel like they don't even care about what they wear anymore. And I'm not saying that in a way where they can't dress. That's not what I'm saying. I think primarily they got into it for the sneakers. They're still into it for the shoes themselves. So maybe the shoe is kind of that, like, the best thing that they got on, and they don't necessarily care what's going on up top. So I'm led to believe that their flexing days are over. And the way that they flex now, their modern flex is if you come into the store, everything you see in the store is theirs. I mean, for the time being, until they sell it. So that's just like big flex. So when you walk in, they're just wearing like a white t-shirt, maybe like a Supreme tee, and it's like some black jeans and some semi-hype sneaker or whatever's comfortable, because they're they treat this as a job. This is their job. They don't, at this point, they're just kind of like, whatever. It doesn't even matter what the hell I have on. As long as you come in, are you gonna buy some? Yes. If you're not, then no, whatever. And I'll give my reaction to this whole Asian consignment shop owner, or whatever you want to call it, okay? For me personally, growing up and visiting consignment shops, just over the years, I just stopped going. I stopped going entirely because they're overpriced. The customer service over the years has gotten really bad. And that's just the culture of it. It's just unfortunate. Now, again, there are shops out there that have great customer service and they're super friendly. Those are the ones I still go to till this day. But the rest of them, I can care less. I'm not even with it anymore. I don't want to waste my time. You know what I mean? Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the last Asian streetwear starter kit. Okay, so you know how I brought up the first starter kit of the Alibaba, AliExpress, Taobao kit, where it kind of looked like this? The next one we're going to talk about in 2020 is going to be the China mainland TikTok fashion streetwear kit. Okay, it looks something like this. I'm not even gonna meme this. These people in actual China dress very, very well. It's to a level that I probably can't even conceive. Because I you know what I think it is too? I mean, this has gone viral. This whole TikTok, China, streetwear, fashion, whatever you want to call it, kind of cameos that they have in the street, probably in the fashion district or wherever it's at, looking like some celebrity like G-Dragon. What I want to say is that I think people from the US, I mean, you know, people in America are so, like, their head is so wrapped around anything in America, and they have no idea, I mean, I'm myself included, sometimes I have no idea what's happening outside of America, because I'm so in tune with, you know, celebrity culture here, things that are going on here, the culture here. Maybe no different than other countries too. So when we think of China, we think of the Taobao, AliExpress kit guy, right? We think about that as streetwear and fashion over there. That's like, oh, that's how they dress? Yeah. When really, they really kind of look like this. And I can attest to it. I'm not just saying it because this shit is viral. Because my last trips to Beijing and some parts of Hong Kong and stuff, you're gonna see people that dress like this. I think what I'll leave you with is that I'm super intrigued by this, not only because of me being Asian, but you know, China, as far as I know, is very shut off from a lot of things globally, right? Because China is so big and so economically strong, they don't need anybody else. They just don't. And just speaking for myself, growing up here, I never really grew up with that many Asian friends. You know, most of my friends are black, most of my friends are Hispanic, most of my friends are white, and I never really got to experience a lot of things that could be considered Chinese or Asian, especially mainland Chinese, if I were to just be real about it. And there's a certain part of me that is extremely curious about that, and I want to know more about it, and I want to learn more about it. But of course there's kind of that divide there, of course, them being across the globe, but you know, there's so many conflicts politically with both countries that we, you know, our only knowledge is seeing viral TikTok videos of them, you know, dressing really well. That's like all we kind of get to see. In the future, I would love to learn the language and, you know, dive deeper into knowing more of that context, more of that history, because you know, to be honest, there's a lot of American influence in there, right? But there's a mix now, and I think fashion and streetwear in China in 2020 may or may not come up on top, or in the next couple of years. We just don't really know. Okay, closing this video out, you know, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe that last TikTok, you know, mainland Chinese viral video, maybe I'll do a separate video on that, and we can talk about that, because there's so much to be said there, right? There's so much to be said about all these kids or whatever, right? But leave your thoughts below. Just know that, you know, hey, I say this to the end of every starter kit video. This is all fun and games, man. You know what I mean? These are my people at the end of the day. You feel me? It's funny to kind of talk about it. And, you know, if you watch my other previous starter kit videos, you know that I memed myself doing this shit too. I'm not the best dressed that's out there. Again, all fun and games. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. It's your boy Keezy. It ain't easy being Keezy. I'll see you next time.